Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Nathália Costa about some of her current and past projects. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thanks so much for being here. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's exciting we're able to do this. You have a lot of projects that came out in the last couple of years. We want to talk about some past ones as well. Just in general, like acting, I just want to know, because there's so much I feel like to love about acting and storytelling in general. What do you love the most about acting specifically, Nathália?
Yeah, actually everything. But I think the best part about being an actress is that you can be a new character, a new person with a new personality, a new style, a new appearance sometimes every day, So I think it's pretty cool that you can be somebody new every single time you do a new character. So you can change like your style and your personality and your outfits. It's so amazing. And I think the cast too, because we always makes the best friends. So
Yeah.
I think every single part of it.
Because you're
honestly.
with the cast for a long time. They become almost like a second family in a lot of ways.
Yeah, exactly. We become always best friends because we're like 6 hours in the studio every single day recording, like filming. It's so cool. So we actually we're kind of forced to be friends. Like we don't have a so yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like there's a big difference between acting and watching certain movies and TV shows, because, acting, you love to kind of explore and work in different genres, maybe genres that you don't kind of watch, but you as like someone who watches TV and film, do you have a favorite kind of genre or type? Do you like comedy, drama, horror movies? Is there like a favorite that you have specifically?
Yeah, I really like comedy. I did a comedy movie when I was 10 and I loved every single part of it. I like horror movies, but I'm kind of terrified of them, so
Yeah.
I never watched them all. And I think I love all of them, but comedy really, really has my heart.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of horror movies. The Black Phone, right? We got to give a shout out.
I watched it. I watched Friend, and then I was terrified. I was freaking out. My friend was with the eyes closed the entire movie, and I was like, oh my god, the movie didn't even started yet. And yeah. Oh, and the good part of Black Phone is fun too. It's I watched it and I was laughing and closing my eyes at the same time.
I know.
So yeah, my favorite type of movie together.
People love that movie. There are fans from all around the world. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So specific projects that we want to kind of talk about. You started acting when you were very young. I believe you started when you were 2 years old, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been a while now, and you did a project when you were 5 that the English translation is the web, I believe, right? This was a project. This was a pretty intense project, but this was a project that was based on a true story. So I'm just wondering, you could talk specifically about the web. What's it like working on a project that is based on a true story? Is there a way you prepare? What is that like?
Yeah, it was kind of hard being a really young age, doing a big project like that with a true story. But it was so cool, the fact that I got to know the girl that I was going to do the character, and it was a big deal because the girl been through a lot. My character was tortured and everything.
Yeah.
So at her, I didn't want it to be violating her, doing kind of so much questions, but I wanted to get to know her personality and how was her life. And she was so sweet to me, and that was really, really amazing. I actually became friends with her, and it was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I can't even imagine. That's very emotional all around, those conversations.
Yeah, there was so much emotional, and I was so little, and it was a really hardcore series, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing here? Sometimes I was like that, and the team was so supportive to me always. I was the main character, so there was kind of a pressure But yeah, it was so cool.
Would you say that most of the projects you work in are in Brazil specifically?
Yeah, actually, I think I never did an international job, only in Brazil. But
Mainly Brazil.
Yeah, but it's my biggest dream, like becoming an international actress.
Let's make it happen. Let's let.
Yeah, I really want to.
No,
that's why I started English.
Yeah,
I learned Spanish too and French, but I'm learning those like by myself.
Oh yeah.
But English, yeah, it was a really big deal for me learning English with such a young age. I started learning when I was 6 because I really wanted to be prepared. If a big opportunity came, I really wanted to be ready for it.
And I wanted to ask you because I feel like there's going to be so many different roles, but I'll just that you've played because you have played a lot of different roles. I was wondering if there was a role that is your favorite role, like a role that you kind of like more than other roles. I know it might be hard, but was there a role that you could say is your favorite role you've ever played, Nathália?
Yeah, it is actually. There's one. It's called Bella. She was a little girl. It was in the soap opera Alto Astral. She was a little girl that she was like a dead girl, and she was like kind of an angel, like Cupid angel, and she was trying to get a couple together so they could marry and have her, and she made it. And it was pretty cool because people still know me for that character, even if it was a long time ago. So it's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty crazy. There's so many different projects, and that's something you did such a long time ago. And people are like, guys, like, what about my projects I'm doing now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys, there's new projects, like my face, like in this year, it's on TV too.
It's a crazy feeling though that you could do something such a long time ago that means so much to people though. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
That was a good segue though, because you have worked on multiple soap operas. So I just kind of want to know more about the soap operas you've worked on and what your experiences was with some of these, if you could name a few on top of your head.
The first one is called A Vida da Gente. I was 2 years old. It was my first soap opera. It was kind of hard though because I was 2, but I started speaking like when I was 6 months. Like I was a little baby and I was like already talking so much. And then the little character has to be like a baby, like a normal baby, not weird like I was. So she had like to like not talk. And I was like always talking so much on the set, and the director was like, girl, you have to be a baby. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, that was kind of hard. And then I did Ateia, which I was 5. Then Alto Astral when I was 7. Then Eta Mundo Bom when I was 9. And then Apocalipse when I was 11. It was a really, really good soap opera. And then I did some dances competitions. I did cooking competitions and stuff. Those are all like shows about like actors doing other stuff. Yeah. Cool. And then I did a movie called Os Farofeiros, the comedy movie. And now, like since I was 11 until a few months ago, I was doing DPA, like 4 years in the same project. It was a project for kids. It's a series. And it was pretty cool. It was the first time I was like working with kids, and it was amazing.
No, absolutely. And I just wanted to also, like, before we wrap up as well, so many projects that you've worked on, so many that you're kind of working now, and I'm sure it's just kind of nonstop, like auditioning and prepping and everything, Besides acting, what are other interests of yours or like hobbies specifically that you enjoy?
I have a lot of them. I think like I really like learning new stuff, of learning new stuff like languages. Started learning a lot of languages by myself. And like the start of the pandemic, I started learning Hindi, like the language that is spoken in India. And then I was doing boxing for a character. And I really liked it. I love riding horses. I love roller skating and painting and a lot of stuff, singing. Cooking and all of those stuff. I love learning new stuff. It's really my thing.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's so crazy. And no, there's so many amazing projects that you've worked on. And it's pretty cool too, right? You mentioned you want to be to work on a project internationally as well. It's so cool that people also like are starting to get like more access to a lot of your projects. Like that's something cool too. Like some people outside of Brazil are able to see some of your projects that you made, which is pretty cool, which was not possible a lot of years ago, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I am so happy with it because I was always an actress, but like here in Brazil, I never had like this opportunity to people get to know me out there, you know? So like, I have a few friends that are like international actors, like American actors and everything. And like, I started talking to them about that stuff and everything. And like, I saw that when like they started following me and commenting on my stuff, like people started following me to like, oh, who's that girl they're following? She's an actress. And it's pretty cool that those people are like getting to know me.
And check out your stuff.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't want them to think like that I want to like get people to know me because of my friends. That's not it.
No way.
But, like it's pretty cool that people like out of Brazil are getting to know my other jobs and everything. It's really cool. It's really cool.
It's amazing. No, for sure. And Nathália, thank you so much for joining me on Popternative. This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. I was so excited for it. I was like shaking a few minutes ago. So it was so much fun. Thank
No,
you
absolutely. No, for sure. And I know that you said that you love learning different languages. Do you have something like some quick shout outs in, Portuguese and Spanish you want to say to all your fans quickly on Popternative?
Of course. I want to send a message in Portuguese for our Brazilian friends and fans that are probably watching this.
Yeah.
So like, obrigada, gente, que tá assistindo agora a entrevista. Eu tô muito, muito feliz de estar fazendo uma entrevista internacional e agradeço a vocês que estão me acompanhando até agora, essa jornada toda. Eu amo muito vocês.
That's awesome. No, for sure. And your Instagram account, it's Nathália.Costa or Nathália Costa? What people want to follow you? Is it just your name?
Yeah, actually, it's my nickname. It's Nachi with like Nathi.
Yep.
And then P Costa.
Perfect. So they can check that out. You're posting a lot of really cool things and behind the scenes and like some updates too, which is
behind the scenes.
That's the best part. I think that's what people like. And when I do the interviews too with a lot of actors, people love those stories. Like you talking about working on Soul Bar. Like people love, it's like, what was it like? They love that. That's why I think Popternative is so popular too. Like we do interviews with like the Black Phone Cast. We've interviewed like Miguel.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of behind the scenes, how they film certain scenes. People love that stuff. So when you post behind the scenes, people just love it.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love telling them like those stories of behind the scenes. It's amazing because like sometimes like when I did Ateia, for an example, like we have to have a lot of experience like to see that we could handle that.
Yeah.
Like in a boy, like we had to see like blood and like cutting arms and stuff because my character had all of those stuff, like get a gun and put like on someone's head and everything when I was 5. So like, when I tell people that stuff, they're always like so excited because they never get to know that unless you tell them. So it's really amazing.
Oh, it's crazy. It's really behind the scenes. Absolutely. Well, thank you again. And also Happy New Year. And it was so great chatting with you. Seriously.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. This has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Popternative.com has some other content as well. Until next time, this is Nathália Costa and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.